Right now, somewhere beneath the ocean, thousands of meters below the surface, there are creatures alive that should not exist. Not because they are rare. Not because they are dangerous. But because according to everything scientists believed about evolution, biology, and survival, these creatures should be impossible. Imagine an environment with crushing pressure strong enough to destroy submarines, temperatures near freezing, complete darkness, and almost no food for years. Now imagine life not only surviving there, but evolving into something far beyond expectations. Scientists once believed complex ecosystems could never exist in these extreme environments. Then the deep ocean started revealing its secrets. And what they discovered forced researchers to rethink some of biology's biggest assumptions. Today we are going deeper than most humans have ever traveled. And by the end of this video, you will see why one creature on this list completely changed how scientists think life may exist on other planets. Let's descend into the darkness. Number 5. The Yeti Crab. When scientists first discovered this strange creature near hydrothermal vents, they were immediately confused. Because almost everything about it seemed biologically wrong. Its body looked like something from another world. White shell. Long claws. Strange hair-like structures covering its limbs. But those strange hairs were hiding something even more shocking. Researchers discovered that these were not normal hairs. They were covered with colonies of bacteria. At depths where sunlight never reaches, plants cannot survive. And without plants, entire ecosystems should collapse. That was the traditional assumption. But the Yeti crab had evolved an entirely different strategy. Instead of hunting normally, it appeared to farm bacteria on its own body. Imagine carrying microscopic farms directly on your arms and growing your own food in complete darkness. Scientists watched these creatures wave their claws through toxic chemicals released by hydrothermal vents. The movement fed the bacteria. The bacteria multiplied. And eventually became food. This meant entire ecosystems could survive without sunlight. That discovery shocked marine biologists. Because for decades scientists believed sunlight was the foundation of almost all life systems. But deep below the ocean, evolution had created another possibility. And suddenly one terrifying question appeared. If life can exist without sunlight on Earth, could similar ecosystems exist beneath the frozen oceans of distant moons? But things become even stranger. Because the next creature evolved a survival strategy that scientists initially thought was impossible. The Goblin Shark. For millions of years, this creature stayed hidden in the darkness of the deep ocean. In fact, scientists often call it a living fossil, because its evolutionary history stretches back around 125 million years. That means while dinosaurs still walked across Earth, ancient relatives of this animal were already moving through Earth's oceans. But its age was not the shocking part. Its hunting mechanism was. At first glance, the goblin shark already looks disturbing. Its skin appears pale and almost pink. Its body looks weak and fragile. And then you notice its face. A long flattened snout extending outward like a strange blade. But hidden beneath that face was something scientists never expected. Its jaws do not work like normal shark jaws. Most predators chase prey using speed and power. But the deep ocean creates a problem. Energy is limited. Food is rare. If you waste energy, you die. Evolution had to create something entirely different. When researchers recorded the goblin shark feeding in slow motion, they saw something unbelievable. Its jaws suddenly launched forward from its skull at extreme speed. Not a few centimeters. They violently shot outward toward prey. It almost looked like the creature was firing its own mouth. Scientists measured the movement and discovered that the jaws could extend dramatically forward in fractions of a second. The mechanism worked like a biological spring-loaded trap. Instead of chasing prey across long distances, the goblin shark waited. Then attacked instantly. Evolution had essentially turned its entire face into a weapon system. And that forced scientists to rethink an important assumption. Researchers once believed deep-sea creatures would gradually become slower and simpler because of harsh environmental pressures. But evolution had done the opposite. Instead of becoming less specialized, some organisms had become incredibly advanced. The deeper scientists looked, the stranger life became. But the next creature wasn't hunting fish. It wasn't hunting sharks. It was eating bones. And for years, scientists could not understand how that was even possible. The zombie worm. Imagine a massive whale dying somewhere in the ocean. Its body slowly sinks through the darkness. Hundreds of meters. Then thousands. Eventually it reaches the ocean floor. Scientists once believed that would be the end of the story. They assumed the body would slowly decay and disappear. But hidden in the darkness, something else was waiting. Something that looked more like a scene from science fiction than marine biology. When researchers first discovered these strange organisms attached to whale bones, they were confused. Because the creatures appeared to be missing something essential. A mouth. They had no mouths. No visible stomach. No teeth. No obvious way to eat. Which immediately created a problem. How was this thing surviving? Scientists kept studying them and the mystery only became stranger. These creatures, later named zombie worms, had developed one of the most unusual survival systems ever discovered. Instead of eating food normally, they used root-like structures that drilled directly into whale bones. But drilling into bone was only the beginning. Inside those structures lived special bacteria. And these bacteria performed an extraordinary task. They broke down fats and nutrients trapped deep inside the skeleton. The worm and bacteria worked together like a biological machine. The bacteria processed nutrients. The worm absorbed them. Together they turned a dead whale into an entire ecosystem. Suddenly researchers realized something important. The ocean floor was not simply an empty desert. It had recycling systems. Complex systems. Entire communities of organisms living from the remains of massive animals. And then scientists asked an even stranger question. If evolution can create organisms that survive entirely from bones, what other extreme systems exist in places humans rarely see? The answer came from a creature so unusual that when scientists first looked at it, they thought something was wrong with its head. And what this animal sees in darkness should be impossible. The Barreleye fish. Deep beneath the ocean surface, darkness becomes absolute. No sunrise. No moonlight. No horizon. Just endless black water stretching in every direction. For most creatures, vision in this environment becomes almost useless. Scientists believe that evolution in these conditions would slowly reduce the importance of eyesight. Because why invest energy into seeing when there is almost nothing to see? Then researchers discovered the Barreleye fish. And suddenly that idea started falling apart. At first, the creature looked strange enough. Small body. Dark fins. Thin shape. But when scientists examined it closely, they noticed something almost unbelievable. Its head was transparent. Not partially transparent. Almost completely transparent. You could literally see inside it. At first researchers thought specimens had been damaged during collection. Because the structure looked unnatural. Almost impossible. But they were wrong. Inside the transparent dome were two unusual tube-shaped eyes glowing green. And those eyes did something scientists never expected. For years researchers believed they remained fixed in one direction. Always staring upward. Searching for silhouettes of prey swimming above. That explanation made sense. Until advanced observations revealed something else. The eyes could rotate. Suddenly everything changed. The Barreleye fish could look upward. Forward. And track objects with surprising precision. Evolution had built a biological surveillance system for complete darkness. Its transparent shield likely protected sensitive eyes from stinging tentacles and dangerous encounters while still allowing vision in multiple directions. Scientists realized this creature represented something much larger. Evolution was not simply helping life survive difficult environments. It was engineering solutions nobody had predicted. Every new discovery in the deep sea was exposing another weakness in human assumptions. And now we arrive at the creature that changed everything. The species that forced scientists to ask whether our definition of life itself might be incomplete. And compared to what comes next, everything so far was only the beginning. The Pompeii worm. Imagine placing your hand near water so hot it could instantly cause severe burns. Now imagine living there permanently. Not for minutes. Not for hours. For your entire existence. Deep on the ocean floor, hydrothermal vents release superheated fluids loaded with toxic chemicals. These environments were once considered far too extreme for complex life. Scientists believed almost nothing could survive here. Then they discovered the Pompeii worm. And immediately something felt wrong. Because this creature was living directly beside temperatures that should have made survival impossible. Its body had evolved into one of the most extreme biological systems ever recorded. The worm positioned itself in a very strange way. Its tail remained dangerously close to intensely hot vent regions. But its head stayed in relatively cooler surrounding water. Essentially, it was living between two completely different worlds. But that was not even the strangest part. Covering its back were dense colonies of bacteria. Millions of microscopic organisms living directly on its body. Scientists believe these bacteria may provide protection and create a beneficial relationship with the worm. Again and again, the deep sea kept revealing the same pattern. Life was not surviving alone. Life was building partnerships. Bacteria helping worms. Bacteria helping crabs. Entire ecosystems depending on biological cooperation. And suddenly scientists began seeing evolution differently. For years many people imagined evolution as constant competition. Survival against survival. Strength against weakness. But hidden in Earth's deepest oceans, some of the most successful organisms were surviving through cooperation. Then researchers realized something much bigger. If life can adapt to crushing pressure, toxic chemicals, extreme temperatures, and complete darkness, then maybe Earth's definition of a habitable environment is far too small. And that thought led to a question much larger than the ocean itself. Because if life can exist here, where else could it exist? Final chapter. For centuries humans believed we understood the basic rules of life. We thought life needed sunlight. We thought extreme environments meant empty environments. We thought evolution followed predictable paths. Then we looked deeper. And the ocean answered back. The Yeti Crab showed us ecosystems surviving without sunlight. The Goblin Shark revealed evolutionary mechanisms built with extraordinary precision. The zombie worm transformed death into an entire ecosystem. The Barreleye Fish evolved a visual system that looked impossible. And the Pompeii worm survived where life itself should have failed. The deeper scientists travel into Earth's oceans, the more one truth keeps appearing. Nature is far stranger than imagination. Because the biggest discovery was never these creatures themselves. The biggest discovery was realizing how little we actually know. Right now, nearly all of the deep ocean still remains unexplored. Thousands of species may still be hidden beneath the darkness. Unknown predators. Unknown ecosystems. Possibly organisms unlike anything humans have ever seen. Which means somewhere below us, at this exact moment, something may be swimming through the darkness that could completely rewrite science again. And maybe it is already waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed exploring the hidden mysteries of science and the impossible creatures living on our planet, subscribe and join us for the next journey into places humanity barely understands. Because the universe still has